likely that governments will interfere in exports. That depends on what side of the lobby you're on. Because from the natural gas producers' perspective, the higher price is something they're going to fight for, especially if a lot of those companies that are producing natural gas also happen to sell oil, which is selling at world prices. And the other issue that's going to be an interesting one, depending on how political issues turn out, is if the U.S. is serious about creating some resistance to Russia, they can't do it without agreeing to release some of their natural gas to other countries. So my guess is that that side wins over the side that says we want to keep cheap gas forever. It's not really the American way to artificially suppress prices in any particular product that they create. So I don't think the prices in North America are always going to be cheaper because they don't have to be converted to LNG and then shipped somewhere else. So North American prices will always be lower than they're going to be in Europe or in Japan or in China. So that advantage isn't going to be lost. It just won't be maybe as big as the advantage is today, which is huge. It's a huge advantage for manufacturers today.
And I would add that if you're the Canadian government, I don't see you standing in the way, because you have a lot of gas in Canada, especially northern BC and northern Alberta, that's sort of trapped. You can't, you're not using it in those regions other than potentially for the oil sands, but you don't have the ability to get it to the US, or there's no demand for it. So sending it offshore and piping it out into the West Coast is actually a good alternative and good tax revenue. So I think Canada would be all in favor. The real risk is that it takes too long to actually get it in place. And other countries like Australia, which also want to export LNG, get in ahead of us and sign the long-term contracts. Because you're not going to build an LNG terminal unless you have a long-term gas supply contract, because these plants cost $5 to $10 billion to build. So it's a long-term investment.